When the two of us met a few years ago, we sensed instantly that there was a great chemistry between us, almost like that of brothers. We had so much in common, despite having different backgrounds. Jim has spent the last 30 years in the business environment teaching people how to become successful. In the process, he built a worldwide business organization. On the other hand, John must spend the last 28 years working in a nonprofit environment as a pastor, denominational executive, and motivational speaker. He is recognized as one of the top equippers in the United States in leadership and personal development. What we have in common is an understanding of people and of the positive impact that one person's life can have on others, and it boils down to one idea: influence. We know the power of influence and we want to share it with you. So please join us and continue reading. We're going to give you many of our insights, tell some entertaining and informative stories, and share dynamite principles that have the power to change your life and the lives of all people you can influence. Let's skip acknowledgement. So let's go with the introduction. So let's start reading. So now we will gonna read this book. How to positively impact the lives of others. Becoming a person of influence by John Maxwell and Jim Dornan. Dornan. Okay, so it's Jim Dornan. So we are going to read the introduction and let's see if we can finish this book together. So, when you were a child, what do you want to be when you grow up? Did you dream about being famous, actor or singer? How about president of the United States? Maybe you wanted to become an Olympic athlete or one of the wealthiest people in the world. We all have dreams and ambitions. Undoubtedly, you've accomplished some of yours. But no matter how successful you are now, you have still dreams and goals that we are waiting to be fulfilled. And our desire is to help you realize the dreams, to help you realize your potential. Let's start by doing a little experiment. Take a look of the following list of people. It's quite a diverse group, but they all have one thing in common. See if you can figure out what it is. So we have John Grisham, George Gallup, Robert Lee, Dennis Rodman, James Dobson, Dan Rather, Madonna, Hideo Nomo, Jerry and Patty Beaumont, Rich Divas, Mother Teresa, Beth Meyers, Pablo Picasso, Adolf Hitler, Tiger Woods, Anthony Bonacorsi, Alanis Morissette, Glenn Leatherwood, Bill Clinton, Jen Weasley, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Influence doesn't come to us instantaneously. It grows by stages. Have you figured out what you have in common? And certainly is it their possessions, the names you have been drawn from the list of writers and statesmen, sports figures and artists and evangelists and dictators, actors and businesses professionals. Both men and women are included. Some are single and others are married. They are of various ages and many ethnic groups of nationalities are represented. Some of the people are famous and you probably recognize their names, but you have undoubtedly never heard of others. So what's the key? What do they all have in common? The answer is that every one of them is a person of influence. So every one of them is a person of influence. So everyone has influence. We created this list almost at random, selecting well-known people as well as one from our lives. You can just as easily do the same thing. We did it to make it a point. Everyone is an influencer to other people. It doesn't matter who you are or what occupation is. A politician, such as a president of the United States, has tremendous influence of hundreds of millions of people, not only his own country but around the globe. And entertainers such as Madonna, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and often influence an entire generation of people in one or more cultures. A teacher, such as Glenn Leatherwood, who instructed Jan and hundreds of other boys in Sunday school, touches the lives of his own students and also indirectly influences all the people those boys grow up to influence. But you don't have to be in a high profile occupation to be a person of influence. In fact, if your life in any way connects with other people, you are an influencer. Everything you do at home, at church, in your job, or on the ball field has an impact to the lives of other people. American poet philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Everyone is a hero, an oracle to somebody and to that person. Whatever he says has an enhanced value." If your desire is to be successful or to make a positive impact on to your world, you need to become a person of influence. Without influence, there's no success. For example, if you, a salesperson wanting to sell more of your product, you need to be able to influence your customers. If you're a manager, your success depends on your ability to influence your employees. If you're a coach, you can build a winning team only by influencing your players. If you're a pastor, your ability to reach people and grow your church depends on your influence with your congregation. If you want to raise a strong, healthy family, you have to be able to influence your children positively. No matter what your goals are in life or what you want to accomplish, you can achieve them faster. You can be more effective, and the contribution you make can longer lasting if you learn how to become a person of influence. If your life in any way connects with other people, you are an influencer. An amusing story about the impact of influence comes from the administration of President Gavin Coolidge. An overnight guest at the White House was having breakfast with a Coolidge in one morning, and he wanted to make a good impression on the president. He noticed that Coolidge, having been served his coffee, took the coffee cup, poured some of its contents into a deep saucer, and leisurely added a little bit of sugar and cream. Not Not wanting to breach any rules of etiquette, the visitor followed the commander-in-chief's lead, and he poured some of his coffee into his saucer and added some sugar and cream. Then he waited for the president's next move. He was horrified to see him place the saucer on the floor for the cat. No one reported what the visitor did next. Your influence is not equal with all people. It's not equal with all people. Even though we have an impact on nearly everyone around us, our level of influence is not the same with everyone. To see this principle in action, try ordering around your best friend's dog next time you visit him. You may not have thought much about it, but you probably know instinctively which people you have great influence and which ones you don't. For example, think of 4 or 5 people you work with. When you present an idea to them or make a suggestion, do they all respond in the same way? Of course not. One person may think all your ideas are inspired. Another may view everything you say with skepticism. No doubt you can identify which one you have the influence with. Yet, that same skeptical person may love every single idea presented by your boss or one of your colleagues. That just shows your influence with her may not be as strong as that of someone else. Once you start paying closer attention to people's responses to yourself and others, you'll see what people respond to one another according to their level of influence. Okay, once you start paying closer attention to people responses to yourself and others, you'll see what people respond to one another according to their level of influence. And you'll quickly recognize how much influence you have with various people in your life. You may even notice that you're influenced in many different levels in your household. If you're married and have two children, and think about how they interact with you. Job respond especially well to you, while the other better with your spouse. It's a matter of which parent has a greater influence with a child. So now we will begin the stages of influence and their impact. If you read John's Developing the Leader Within You, so then you probably remember the description of 5 levels of leadership contained in chapter 1. Visually, it looks like this: position, permission, production, people development, and personhood. Leadership, which is a specific application of influence, is at the lowest level when it is based on position only. It grows and goes to the higher level as you develop relationship with others. That's when they give you permission to live beyond the limits of your job description. As your followers become more productive together in your work, then your leadership can go to level 3. And when you begin to develop people and help them reach their potential, your leadership moves up to level 4. Only a few people reach level 5 because it requires a person to spend a lifetime developing others to the highest potential. Influence functions in a similar way. It doesn't come to us instantaneously. Instead, it grows by stages. Visually, it looks like something like this. So we're gonna show you the. Okay, so we have first the model, next motivate, mentor, and multiply. So let's consider each level. So first, the level 1 is the modeling. So modeling, people are first influenced by what they see. If you have a children, then you probably observe this. No matter what you tell your children to do, their natural inclination is to follow what they see you doing. For most people, if they perceive what passively you are positive and trustworthy and have admirable qualities, then they seek you as an influencer in their lives. And be better what they get to know you. The greater your credibility will be and the higher influence can become. If you like what they say, when you met people who don't know you at first, you have no influence with them at all. If someone they trust introduces you to them and gives you an endorsement, then you can temporarily borrow some of that person's influence. They will assume that you are credible until they get to know you, but as soon as they have some time to observe you, you either build or boost that influence by your actions. One interesting exception to this modeling process occurs in the case of celebrities because of their preoccupation with television, movies, and the media. And many people are strongly influenced by others, what they have never met. More often than not, they are influenced not by the actual individual, but by the image of that person. And that image may not be an accurate representation of that actress, politician, sports figure, or entertainer. Nonetheless, unless they admire that person and they are influenced by the actions and attitudes they believe that persons represent. So next, so we can you can be a model to the masses, but to go with the higher levels of influence, so you work with individuals. So first, so first, um in order to influence in or to have impact in people's lives, so first level is you have to be a role model. So with your words, actions, it should be that your words corresponds your actions, and your actions corresponds with your words. um so you should show that you are a good role model, you're kind, you're just like you're worthy enough. And some people can be influenced by your character, attitudes, by showing them the real you, with integrity. Yeah, so be a good role model to everyone, guys. So that's it. Be a good role model to everyone, so we can be an influencer in someone's life. So that's it for today. So next level, so we will discuss, or we're gonna read the next level next time or next night. So bye bye.